Aloha no kako. My name is Keoni Alvarez, and I am from the island of Hawaii. I'm the producer and director of the documentary film Kapu, Sacred Hawaiian Burials, and I'm going to be sharing some of my favorite scenes of the film. Kapu, Sacred Hawaiian Burials is a 20-year film project. It's a passionate project of mine. It's a personal journey about my family protecting a sacred Hawaiian burial cave. I needed to learn about our family burial cave and the importance about the preservation and also the burial practices. And in order for me to do that, I needed to reach out to our community. I had to reach out to our kupuna, or our elders, and they have shared with me this traditional practice. You know, this documentary film is the first documentary film ever documented, with research, and then also documenting our history and also showing the desecration that is happening in Hawaii to our ancient Hawaiian burials. So to bring this awareness and to share it with people, I think it was a real eye-opener for many.
This is the front entrance to what I call Na'iwi o Naue Cemetery.
On the island of Kauai, I got word that there was a burial site that was being desecrated. I had an opportunity to meet the family who was trying to protect this burial site from being desecrated by a home development. So Auntie Louise actually kind of shared with me more about the Hawaiian burial practices, and that's one thing about our elders, is that they were willing to share with me about our culture, and especially in Hawaii, there's different burial methods, and on Kauai's, their burial methods was because there's a lot of sand. They use the sand to bury our iwi kupuna, our ancestors, within it. And she shared with me about it and how important it was to her family and the beliefs of Hawaiian burial practices. There's another scene in here that Auntie Louise kind of stood up against this land developer and the person who was in charge of doing the development. And she's just telling him that, what he's doing is wrong, and, people got to really think about what they're doing, and, they're digging up our burials just to put a septic tank, and for us, that's just totally wrong, and she can't understand it. So she's in here explaining it to him, and it's a very powerful and strong scene. This next scene is kind of hits home for me, and it surely does. It's when the developer brought his bulldozer, and he wanted to bulldoze this burial cave that my family has been protecting, and I've been protecting this burial site since I was 8 years old, and it really means a lot, and especially after all the research and protecting our burial sites and having a connection to our burial cave, it made it more so when the landowner wanted to bring a bulldozer and wanted to just develop on it. And for me, it's like a David versus Goliath. I didn't have money. I didn't have any kind of resources to purchase the property, but I had a strong belief in our culture that these sites needs to be protected and preserved. All in all, we stopped it from happening, and everything worked in our favor. And that's the unique thing about preserving these kind of sites. And for me, it's just not about burials, and it's our culture. And with that, if you have enough belief, it's going to go your way. One of the scenes in the film, it also shows me moving to the island of Oahu. I'm from Hawaii Island. So, the lifestyle is very different. We have trees and forests, and here on Oahu, it's a small city. So everything's pretty much, a lot of buildings, cars, and things like that. Moving to Oahu was like kind of a total different culture shock, for me to be living in a small, especially in Chinatown, and, you're living in a small studio. Living here, it just showed me, that with all the home development throughout Oahu, I can just imagine how much more burials that there were that were destroyed that we don't know about, and the historical sites. There was a scene that's in this documentary that was very important to my family and important to me that I wanted to share with everyone. And that was when my dad passed away. We had a spreading of his ashes within the kai, or the ocean. And I felt that it was very important because everything that I learned in this process about our traditional burial practices, I wanted to apply that within my own family. And a lot of times you see people who they share their stories or they share their documentaries, but I wanted to actually share what I've learned in my own family and teach them how important it is that when people pass away, and especially my dad, that meant so much to me, that I wanted to do it traditionally. And to see my brother, in one of the scenes of pouring my dad's ashes out, he poured the ashes all on himself, and some people might look at that as, wow, that you're not supposed to do that, or but that's how close and my dad was to my brother. If my brother had an opportunity to go, I think he would have chose his life for my dad's. When somebody passed away, and it's a close, intimate thing within just the family. So, and that's what it was. It was just our family expressing our love for my dad. This film is very important to me. It's a personal journey. It's not just a film. I'm letting people inside, pretty much my home, of protecting and preserving my ancestors who's in a burial cave. People look at it as a film, but this was my life. It was very important to me. I understood how important our burials are to our people, and especially to my family. This is my ancestors. For me, it's a very special and sacred practice, and I wanted to uphold that. And that's what makes this film so unique and so important, is because this is a lost culture, but we're bringing it back and continuing to practice the traditional burial practices of our people.